yesterday. All my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Well, boys and girls, Saturday, sing-song. Must be coffee with Scruff. What are we going to talk about today? Well, it's kind of a reflection of the week that was. Was it a good week? Yeah, it's been all right. It's had its ups and downs. Few revelations have come out, but nothing that you can't handle. Now, why is that? Well, it's because if you've got a plan, you'll be fine. But if you haven't got a plan, well, then your troubles are definitely here to stay.
Who'd be stupid enough to do that?
Justify, stupid.
I had a lot of conversations this week with various guys, and there was kind of a common thread. It was always the same of, I just can't do it. Well, why can't I do it? And even if I show them outright how to do it, you know, and it's very, very simple process. Trading's not difficult at all. In fact, let me just kind of quickly show you something. If you look at a chart and you think about this chart, what can it physically do? Well, it can either go nowhere, it can go up, it can go down. So you're 1 in 3 before you even start. The problem that I had with this week when I was speaking to guys is they don't move off what's happening in front of them right here. They are just looking at this time frame.
What?
Now, what is it really telling you? Is it telling you the problems of yesterday? No, it's not. It's only telling you what's happening in the here and now. So, really, you're trading blind. Now, you can put levels in. You can say, I've got one here and I've got one here. That price will hit one of them. It has to. So, in theory, you've got a 50-50 chance. You know, you're already 1 in 3 with direction. And you got 50-50 if it's going to hit one or the other levels. The question is, which one? Well, if you step it out a little bit, now you might be saying, well, the bottom one looks a bit more attractive. In fact, the bottom one looks a lot more attractive. Why? Well, because you can see that that motion is pushing down. And you can see it very clearly. But then you'll have those that'll argue, say, well, it's coming into a bottom here. Well, that's true. But there's also a bottom here. And that bottom is lower than that one. So therefore, there's more argument for it to go there. Then you'll have those that say, oh, I'll look for a fair value gap. Well, there's a fair value gap here. What does that mean? Absolutely fuck all.
Are you serious?
Right. Then you've got your Fibonacci traders. That'll say, well, it's pulling against this. Fine. But it's already broken that and it's coming against that. So there's always arguments to be had. And that's why trading is so decisive. Because with that one chart, there's multiple interpretations. But is it still telling you enough? Well, not really. So step it up again. Now, where do you think is the better of the two levels that it's going to hit? Is it going to hit the top one or is it going to hit the bottom one? Well, again, you've got a general view of it pushing down. It's pushed up. Is this a pullback? And then if so, is that the continuation of the trend? Well, again, it's another interpretation. Step it up the screen again. Well, again, that's telling you even more information. It's pulling you from this to this to this. Take it up again. And again, it's telling you a different narrative. Double tops, pushing down. So it's a W pattern. Is it a Fibonacci of this? Are all of these levels in the correct place? Take it out to a weekly. Holy crap, look how many levels is on that. But what is this doing? Is it pulling against that move there, which you've just seen? Is this the start of a pullback before it moves up? But either way, it's still telling you the narrative is down, and then you go out to a monthly, and again, it's changing the sentiment. But what does that mean? Well, unless you know what you're looking for, it doesn't mean anything. Because if you're looking at it on this monthly chart, you're too far away from it. If you're looking at it on this chart, which is a minute chart, you're too zoomed in. So really, that's the chart. If you looked at the hourly, you would have a good understanding of the charts. So why did I quickly kind of show you that? Because it comes down to the mindset of how you want to trade in the first place. But there has to be an anchor point. Now, the anchor point for me is always the hourly, because it's slow enough I can see exactly what's going on in and around it. But it's fast enough that I can actually see a signal as well. Now, when I'm speaking to guys, they don't quite grasp that. Now, you'll often hear me talk about +1, -1. It's something you'll see quite regular in the modules that are in the squad. And you're very welcome to come to the squad. There's details of that down in the description. What those elements are about is reading what the chart is actually trying to achieve in real terms. Not what you think, basically what you see. Now, if I'm looking at that chart, I see there's more pressure to the downside than there is to the upside. I've got my levels in place, so they tell me where the stall points are. But there's one other element that is very crucial. And it's something that not a lot of people mention, because targeting is a science in itself. You'll have all of the, well, I put 10 pips on, and therefore I get 30 pips. Is that right? What if the market isn't willing to give you 30 pips in the time period you're looking at?
Jump out the closet, chop your little head off.
Now, if you're going against the trend, now in this case, it looks like the main wave is to the downside. So let's say you're going long. Well, what if that pushback isn't 30 pips? What if it's only 12? But you're taught to go, I put 10 on to get 30 back, 1 in 3. The chart isn't willing to give you that. What the chart is willing to give you in that scenario is 1 and 1. So you've got to be able to recognize things and understand that if I'm going against the trend, I can't do the normal rules. I have to apply what's called common sense. Now, once you start putting these elements together, you can start building something that a lot of you don't have, which is a plan.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Now, I use a strength sheet. Use it every day. The strength sheet tells me what the state of play of the market is in terms of, are they going to move, not in direction? And then secondary to that, there's a bias tool, and all the bias tool does, is look at the multiple time frames and what the average of what the direction is, and then it works out what the general flow of the market will be. And then when you do go to market, you're better off going with the flow than you are against it. But at least if you are going against it, you know categorically that you're going to go against the grain, so be careful. Hope that kind of makes sense to a degree, because whenever I go to market, and I did it yesterday, I was in the bar with the guys, and I don't like trading on a Friday, I really don't. But Bubbles was looking at the DAX and one thing on. I said, right, this is what I will do with it. And then I just executed it. And because I followed the path, I was in and out, and I was paid relatively well in a relatively short period of time, simply because I did go with the flow of the market of what it was showing me at the time. Now, that's the next element here. Showing me at the time. because you've got to be right at the right time. So if you're going to go against the grain, well, there's no point going against the grain when it's at the bottom or the top of the market, is there? Oh, there's the door. Bear with me a second.
Well, we're waiting.
Sorry about that, guys. Winky's on a shopping spree again, and that was the delivery driver. There's a shock in this world, isn't it? Anyway, let me get a coffee, get me breath back, because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee. And we'll carry on. So what was I talking about? That was right. Plan. Going against the grain, with the grain. Nothing is ever really scripted in these videos. I have an idea in my head, and off we go. And I know some people will be into glossy videos and going, hey, look at the mood lighting there. Oh, how sharp is that image? It's not happening here. I'm no Steven Spielberg. But I know how to work a chart. The difference is they might work a camera. Can they work a chart? That's kind of what I'd say to that one. Hey, different track. I'll get on to something else. So, plan. If you're sort of have a structure in mind, you're a day trader, you can be what's called market neutral. So it doesn't matter if you're going with or against the grain. It's just as long as you know, you can target appropriately. And that's the key thing. Work hour to hour, target within the hour. Well, if it gives you 1 to 1, it gives you 1 to 1. If it gives you 3 to 1, it gives you 3 to 1. Who cares? But take what the market's willing to give. Now, there's different elements to this, because you've also got the investing mentality as well. Now, if you're going on an investing mentality, and that is you're holding your trade for a long period of time, because we did touch on this as well. Where is the market going with Euro Swissy? Now, it has a relatively low ATR, but it's also coupled with a high spread. So if you're to trade that as a day, if you're to day trade that, it's quite a dangerous, horrible market to day trade, because you've got a big spread to cover and it isn't going to move that far. But as a longer term, fine. Put your money in and just sit on it. But with that one, you've definitely got to go with the flow. You can't really just take a punt. So you have to go through the time frames to pretty much nail the direction. Now, there are mechanisms you use. I use a system called the river, and it is very good, but I prefer to use what's called a hybrid river. Now, a hybrid river is a 2-stage trigger system. It'll show you the direction and it'll show you the momentum. Then what I'm looking at is just carving day in, day out. So almost like a day trade. So it works with the same direction, but I'm essentially looking to be in and out of it within about 3 days. And the idea is every time it comes to a level, you take 10% off till you've got 10% left. And then when you've got that, you just let it run forever and a day. And that way you're always reducing your exposure. You're paying off any overnight costs if it's not a futures. And it's putting margin back into your account as well. So it just means you're constantly funding up your account. Now, if you've got limited time, it's a good way to go. And then another way to go is, why not manage it at all? Don't do anything.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Well, that's kind of position trading. And my slush fund, where my main account for my funds are for trading, is in a slush fund. I use Vanguard for it. And I just dump the money in there. I put it into certain pots that I think are going to be pretty good long-term growth. And I just put it in and forget about it. Let Vanguard do the heavy lifting. So really, if you're thinking about your worries and your woes, if you planned it, you don't have to worry about yesterday. You only have to worry about what you're going to do tomorrow. And that's kind of my philosophy in life. I can't change what's gone wrong. I can't change what's gone right. But I can learn from it. and I can put something in place for tomorrow. So really, should you worry about yesterday?
Fuck no!
That's the moral of the story here. Because when I was speaking to these guys, the big plan or the big thread was there was no plan. Too zoomed in on the charts, looking for the perfect entry that doesn't exist, but having pretty much limited knowledge of how to pick the direction out. Now, the direction is a case of there are trends inside of trends, as you kind of saw. When you look at a chart, there was multiple interpretations of it. But as you go higher into the chart, you build a narrative. And that narrative, well, it starts giving you confidence. And if you got the confidence, well, then this job's easy.
Isn't that logical?
It's only hard when you're trying to sort of go, well, I'm here, give me a trade. What do you mean you're not ready? I want to trade. So you force a trade. Or you go hunt one out. Now, if you hunt a trade out, well, where's your research? Do you know that instrument? Probably not. Looks good, but then, as I was making a reference to in Euro Swissy, well, what's its spread? Well, it's 3. Fine if it's got a 150 pip ATR, but it doesn't. It has 43. So that spread was huge against what its ATR is. And so therefore, you're not really going to get any money out of it. But it looks nice, because it had a nice shape. But so is the DAX. But the DAX will give you your money in about 10 seconds. In and out, bang. You know, don't get me wrong, it'll take it as well.
You're taller than I imagined.
I'm bigger in every department.
But what I'm driving at is you've got to plan your trades out. You've got to plan them out. And just as a final thought, if you looked at an hourly chart, and it doesn't matter if you're going to swing trade or day trade, the hourly is the Goldilocks. It's the right one in the middle. It'll give you everything that you need. Because remember, your levels and your price, no matter what time frame you look at, are in exactly the same place. Exactly the same place. So it doesn't matter what chart you're looking at for entry. They're already in the same place. What you need to do is look at the multiple charts for narrative. Get your narrative right, you'll be fine. And you'll hear me say it over and over. You get that direction correct, it'll forgive a bad entry. But if you got the direction wrong, you're screwed. Absolutely screwed. I cherish your thoughts. What's your thoughts on multi-time frame analysis? Do you like it? Do you just think you should stick on a single chart and look for the mythical entry? Or do you think you should just read what's going on? Interesting thoughts. Catch you soon.